Hey guys, let me ask you a question. Did you open new passive skill tree and went like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna wait for someone else to design a passive skill tree because I don't know where everything is located. I don't know how to path through this passive skill tree, and I'll just wait for someone else to do it. I did that, but then I remembered that I'm also a content creator and I kind of had to plan some builds, and I don't like copying builds, so I spent 2 days, like 12 hours planning and sorts of builds and checking the numbers, and I came up with 3 builds, very baseline, very generic builds. Well, kind of generic. One build is new skill, Energy Blade. One is old, Righteous Fire, very generic. And one skill is meme, which I think actually has a lot of potential, which is Ignite Tempest Shield. So I'm gonna talk about my build plans, and I'm gonna start with Energy Blade. Now the Energy Blade is actually more interesting than I thought, but also very weird. It's like a reservation, but it does not reserve anything, and it also replaces a weapon. When you use a skill, when you use Energy Blade, in the equipment you're gonna see an Energy Blade weapon appear. And it's gonna have, I believe, 7 base crit chance, 1.7 attacks per second, and lightning damage is gonna be based on your energy shield, because that's how Energy Blade works. We don't know level 20 gem numbers, but basically the main thing for Energy Blade is it has buff grants 80% less maximum energy shield. You're gonna lose 80% of your energy shield, so basically your energy shield is meaningless. You're only gonna use it to get flat damage. It's almost like, you know how we had that ward gloves, those ward gloves that gave a lot of chaos damage based on your ward? So it's sort of like that, but it's for energy shield, and it's lightsaber from Star Wars. So it's cool. You can use with one-handed, you can use with dual wield, and you can use with two-handed. Two-handed weapon gets 50% more lightning damage. So it lowers your energy shield by 80%, and the remaining energy shield, maximum energy shield, is gonna be used to calculate how much minimum lightning damage you're gonna get and how much maximum. The minimum roll is gonna have 5% from your energy shield, and the maximum is gonna have 100% of your energy shield. So let's say you have 800 energy shield left, maximum energy shield left. It's not gonna reserve. It will spend some energy shield. At level 1 it costs 136 energy shield. So let's say you have 800 energy shield left, so you will gain from 40 to 800 lightning damage. This is not counting the flat damage that you get. At level 1 you get plus 2 to minimum, and then plus 40 to maximum lightning damage. And that number is gonna scale with levels. I don't know what else is gonna scale with levels. You are getting quite a bit of damage with this thing. However, like, you have no other mods, and your equipped current weapon will not affect the Energy Blade in any way, as far as I know, but it will maintain its sockets. You get maximum energy shield to get flat lightning damage, and the rest, I have no idea how the numbers actually gonna look like. We don't have Energy Blade. I did simulate a weapon which is at around 3000 energy shield, but I am getting over 4000, and this is on a very budget items. And I decided I want to use Molten Strike, because why not? And this is not a crit, using a new elemental overload. And this is Trickster. It does synergize, all the items synergize very well with energy shield and evasion, because Trickster gets energy shield from evasion, from body armor. There's also mastery that gives energy shield from, if I can find it. Actually, I have not located all the masteries. Actually, I cannot find it. There was some mastery somewhere that gave energy shield based on evasions on your boots, but I'm not taking that. Also, you can get lightning master to give you lightning damage lucky with non-crits, which means it rolls damage number twice and it picks the higher number, because you do need that, because your lightning damage is from very low to very high with lightning. Now the numbers don't look good, and I have no idea if it's gonna be enough. This is, like I said, with a much weaker weapon than you would normally have with these energy shield numbers. But also it's very baseline. You don't really have anything expensive. I can show you my items. Do need some accuracy, and then, since it's not a crit build, you just get elemental damage with attacks, accuracy enough, and then just life. and resistances, and then energy shield. I am using Mind of a Council. I'm also trying to scale mana. The numbers don't look that good right now, but then again I'm missing a bunch of jewels, a bunch of flasks. So I'm actually reserving quite a bit of mana, and this is only 30% Mind over Matter. It's kind of weird, but I also like the synergy with the Trickster. So I'm not sure if this is good or not. Like, I'm not even gonna pretend to know how most efficiently build the new passive skill tree, because like, what is this? This is Shadow used to have a triangle which everyone hated, and now we have 3 triangles. 3 triangle maze. What is this? So it's gonna take a while to learn the new passive skill tree and what works the best, and what items we can acquire this league on a budget, and what's gonna be expensive. So this is kind of a baseline. Why am I using Herald of Ash? Oh yeah, to simulate the Tempest Shield. The Herald of Ash is just to simulate the reservation for Tempest Shield, because we don't have new numbers for any of the gems in PUB. So I would have around 50% unreserved mana. I actually did not take any reservation things. Probably could take. This is like, again, this is like a very baseline. This is just to help you guide. Once you start getting items, you know how much you can afford, and maybe you're gonna want to go with the cluster jewels. I'm not even sure how cluster jewels have changed. Is it worth using them? Probably it is. If you can get really good, then other jewels and other items, so the damage would be much different. This is like a very baseline damage. This is damage against Shaper and Guardians. So I'm gonna go to the next build. I don't want to spend too much time on one build. Next one is generic Righteous Fire, and I didn't really want Chieftain because it's too generic. Didn't really want to go Trickster, and didn't want to go Elementalist, so I'm going Scion. The main thing is that Scion Trickster now has 10% reduced damage taken from damage over time, which is nice. And then Chieftain just get fire damage, regen, and then cover enemies in ash. Now for Righteous Fire, so here's the thing. I actually added another 60% more damage because we don't have new numbers. Righteous Fire gained like 60% more damage from what it used to be, but it is not up to date. And that is because we lost Elemental Overload, because the skill itself has to crit to proc Elemental Overload for itself, and Righteous Fire cannot do that. So we don't take Elemental Overload, and we don't take Elemental Equilibrium anymore because it's different thing. It's now just exposure. So it's gonna be smoother. You're not gonna need to worry about Elemental Overload. You're not gonna need to worry about hitting with lighting and not having any fire damage to any skills. But damage wise, it doesn't look good. But then again, it's very baseline. Again, don't even have jewels. Just a single damage mod and then life. Actually, I haven't even capped properly resistances. So the degen would not be degen actually. And you would get better items. Like you can see, it's very simple, very baseline items. Something that you can definitely find even in SSF. Well, Rise of the Phoenix is not even mandatory. This is Righteous Fire damage against Shaper Guardians. This is on a 5 link with concentrated effect. You probably would even want to use Empower if you could later on, depending on your budget. And also this has Scorching Ray, which doesn't have that much damage, but combined is like 500k, which should be fine. Maybe not for series, but for early mapping, I think it should be fine. Herald of Ash is again just to simulate the Tempest Shield reservation. Vitality, Skitterbots for shocks and chills to slow enemies down and to shock to do more damage. Tempest Shield just to be immune to shocks and give you spell block, which you're gonna need. Actually, I keep forgetting. And then you're just gonna use the flask to cap your block, and that's it. And that's your defensive layer, just block. The glancing blows, which may not be the best, but you also would want to get a shield with recover life on block. You can get more life, you can get more damage, or both. You can also go for the cluster jewels if you get some good luck with your drops. Taking the new maximum resistance node, here +1 maximum fire, and here +1 to +2 to all maximum elemental resistances. And another 1 +1 fire here, so you're getting +4 to maximum fire res on the passive skill tree. I am missing resistances. Let me just add some resistances. Go, no longer regioning. I don't have a lot of good regen, but like you would normally want to get life recovery belt, maybe Watcher's Eye, obviously, but all those things come later once you get some currency going. So again, this is very baseline, very generic. And now we're going into the meme build, which is Ignite Tempest Shield. Now, first thing, I'm gonna show you the buff. Now the Tempest Shield is now 25% reservation, and now gets up to 25% spell block. No longer has any attack block. Actually, I would probably need to adjust it a bit. I did also add here 25% spell block. I forgot to remove some attack block, but whatever. 20 more damage because I am taking Elemental Overload, which is like a global modifier for every skill right now. Until we get, I guess, up-to-date PUB. Wait, why did I add it? Actually, that is not correct. But this is just to simulate squashing. This is just to simulate squashing ray or righteous fire buff. So we're gonna turn that off for now. So if you look at Tempest Shield, look at the damage buff. It's insane. It used to be from 284 to 426. Now it's up to 2688 damage at level 20. So basically when you block, you proc an arc, which doesn't normally chain unless you get a mastery point or a helmet enchantment, but it doesn't matter. I just need to ignite one enemy, and with that high base damage, ignite seems like a good idea. All I have to do is make enemy hit me once or twice and proc the block, and it's gonna proc the arc, the Tempest Shield, and it's gonna ignite. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing Ignite Tempest Shield. Now again, it does not have the new gem information. So this is level 40 Tempest Shield. Once it is up to date, you're gonna have to modify this. This is level 40, 820 base damage. If you compare to this, 896. So it's still lacking some damage, some minimum damage, but maximum damage goes to 2688, and this one is only 1231. So that's why I added another 80 to 1200 lightning damage to spells, just to simulate the new Tempest Shield. Be aware, if you use any other skills, we're gonna have a lot more damage than we would be normally because of this line. So we're not using anything else pretty much. Well, actually I will be using Flame Surge. Now again, Tempest Shield currently does not have reservation. And also I'm not sure if the damage effectiveness have changed or not. If it did change, if it did get lower, then this number would also be incorrect, and you would have to, well, probably simulate, or not simulate, but get the new Tempest Shield up to date in PUB. Also, I'm not sure if I will be able to use Inspiration with it. And to simulate the reservation, I am using Herald of Agony, just because it's 25 base reservation, and it can be linked with all these support gems. So I just have barely enough mana. Well, actually I don't have enough mana to cast pretty much anything else, but I can fix that, no big deal. And as you can see, it does have pretty decent ignite damage, just like that. And what do I need for that? Not really much, just some scepter with +1 to lighting, because it's lighting damage. By the way, this is Elementalist, that's how I can ignite. Sadly, this does not give me damage. Does not give me 25% more damage because I am igniting with lighting, and I would need to ignite with fire to get this. So I picked Elementalist because I don't know how accessible Stormfire is gonna be. If it's gonna be difficult to get it, like normally you would use Stormfire, but it's level 80, so it's annoying. You can't really play with proper lighting ignites until you get Stormfire. You could use the Free Dragon's Helmet maybe, but I'm not a fan of it. And in SSF you don't need Stormfire. I guess you can just play Elementalist. And that's what I'm doing. I'm picking up Lighting Mastery because non-projectile chaining lighting skills chain +1 time. The thing to remember is non-projectiles. So whatever lighting skills can chain that are not projectiles. Static Strike could work well, Orbital Storm could work well, both are lighting skills. And Tempest Shield, so that works well. I'm not even taking some of the messages because there's nothing left, like nothing really left. Reservation, very important, and I'm still lacking some, like these nodes are insane. You get 8, 16, 20, 28% reservation, and another 15 from mastery. So it's like, what, 32? It's kind of crazy. And then Flame Surge actually has changed. Flame Surge now creates a burning ground based on the ignite when it hits. So you ignite with your Tempest shield, and then you cast Flame Surge to create a burning ground. I'm not sure how it's gonna scale, so I added Flame Surge. You could just use Scorching Ray instead. And the Scorching Ray damage would be well, the Scorching Ray damage would have to get this thing. So that would be the Scorching Ray damage on a falling. So it already has decent damage. Now defensive layers obviously is block, because Tempest Shield again capping block with glancing blows. So you would want a shield with like recover life on block would be ideal. And yeah, I'm very tempted to start with this build. It's either gonna be this build or it's gonna be the Energy Blade, because Energy Blade is also very cool. So I'm not sure what build I'm gonna start. I'll probably decide like 30 minutes before the league launch while I'm waiting in the queue. But it's probably gonna be either Energy Blade or the Tempest Shield, because that ignite does look pretty powerful. I have my suspicion that some bosses, some enemies would be annoying to deal with if they don't hit you. Like if they use some degen, like Corsicara or like Scorching Rays, then you got no way of killing those enemies, so that could be an issue. So yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Let me know in the comments below, what are your league starters? What are you gonna be starting? Are you gonna be starting with Essence Rain Contagion or Toxic Rain, or are you gonna do something more interesting? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you after the league launch, I guess. Bye bye.